but now it's really just about continuous improvement, continuous evolution in the company. And I think every one of our customers is dealing with the same thing. There's no just one single transformation destination. You are constantly evolving to keep up. So I hope that many of you attended the keynote yesterday. Did you all get a chance to see that? Great. So when you look at that, there were really 5 pillars that we want to include in the digital playbook. So for every company, independent of the industry they're in, independent of the size, it could even be organizations, governments, smart cities. It's really the same digital playbook. You have to have the foundation of security first, then automation, because we are really hitting an inflection point in terms of the number of people and things that are coming online. Then third is multi-cloud enablement. There are multiple clouds out there. Cloud is not a destination. And so helping customers work through that. And the fourth is analytics. And then lastly is the human experience. And one of the things we're very, very passionate about Cisco is partnering. Because we believe that no one company can do it alone, no one individual can do anything alone. So in Latin America, we have 4,700 partners. So our presence is actually amplified by local teams who are able to customize solutions for the customers that are here in the region. And so that's been very, very important to us as teaming, and we're taking it to the next level with all of our platforms, all of our products actually being platforms for others to innovate on. So if you go through every single layer, especially the network layer and the analytics and collaboration areas, we have made those platforms for our customers and our partners to innovate on top of. So not only are we innovating, but now our partners can multiply that innovation significantly with their own solutions. So I'll pause there and see, what questions, what's on your mind, anything you want to talk about. Yes.
I was very impressed with the use of AI in the Spark, what you mentioned yesterday. I'd like to know what else you think AI can be used in Cisco and other parts of what you can use.
Everywhere. We are using it everywhere. So we are using it across every single layer that I mentioned. In Spark, what I shared with you was just the beginning. We have AI bots that are able to respond to written messages. Now we've added the language processing, the natural language processing, so we can take audio cues and start things up with that enterprise-ready virtual assistant that I mentioned. That will be available early next year. But the bots have already been in operations. Actually, if you're using Spark, there are lots of AI bots there right now. If I go layer by layer, in security, we've been using AI and machine learning for quite some time now, actually. So in our self-launch learning networks, that's one area where we're just taking all of the intelligence from the 20 million threats that we block per day and actually using the learning that we have from a certain customer's environment. We know if there's an aberration. This is now an IP address that we've seen before. This is access coding someplace we haven't seen before. So we can actually reconfigure the perimeter of a network and do auto quarantine and retroactive quarantine and be able to check the customer. So we're doing that in security. In networks, we showed you the machine learning capability yesterday in the demonstration, where not only are we learning the typical performance of a network based on number of people, types of devices, and the workloads that they're running, but then when we see something that's different, we look at what are the parameters that cause that to change, and then actually help it learn, help the system learn. So machine learning, typically, the way it takes place is kind of set an algorithm, and then over time you optimize that algorithm to this is where I get wrong, and then eventually over time, as it gets more and more improvement. So we're using it in the network. In the cloud, it's the same kind of 2 pieces to secure the cloud. We're definitely putting it there to improve the performance. We're using it there, and also we are using it in workload orchestration. So Cisco Cloud Center is using artificial intelligence to better optimize where workloads should move based on the type of workload and the best cloud that will run that workload. And then when we get to analytics, so the business IQ that App Dynamics launched is actually a machine learning algorithm. It learns what are the parameters that are important to your business, and then it will let you know that these are the lines of course you should be optimizing, and now actually giving you intelligence on how to change your process. So I covered an example from a bank yesterday. The bank bank wants to follow a loan process end to end. You know, a customer goes to their website probably, looks up how do I do a loan. Then they are using their mobile app to continue to follow their application, and they go into the actual store, the branch, to finish their application. Now with Business IQ, our customers, the bank can actually follow that customer journey and see where did the process not work out? How do we optimize the process? Should we put more things in the website? Should we put more functionality in the mobile? Should we contact them earlier and tell them to come into the branch? Should we do a video conference? So that intelligence is also machine learning. So it's machine learning, but also human and what's effective. So we're using it across the stack. Yes.
Good morning. I really love the comparison that you did yesterday between the national currency and the period. And it's interesting, I would like to have your opinion. Where is Latin America in this field? So what would you say that is the next step to get to the top?
It's not unique to Latin America. Now, I would say one thing that we've been very, very proud of is our partnership in several countries and cities where we've got smart cities and country digitalization acceleration. So in Mexico, the partnership with Mexico and Mercado, I mean, recognizing the benefit of technology is sensible. And it's a shame to say that not everybody has recognized that yet, but for sure in Latin America, I think a lot of the companies that are here, the people that are here have recognized it. And with Mexico Mercado, that was very, very key. Connecting everyone, doing it in a secure way, provides economic stimulation. And actually, in the case of earthquakes, actually connected people in the time that we really needed it. So, and then in Brazil, we actually, when we did the Rio Olympic sponsorship, that's one where we utilized technology not only to connect all of the athletes and all of the guests that were staying in Olympic Village, but we also built an innovation center there so that we can activate the local economy and get talent to contribute to the economy after the leave. The Olympics is just a couple of weeks, and then what people will leave. I would say in general, not unique to Latin America, everyone is early stage on the journey. And the reason is that the internet, when it was first built, was built and designed to bring everything on. It wasn't designed to keep anything out. And that's a challenge that we're facing right now as users of the internet, is how do we keep the negative things out and the bad things out? Because our lives are all on the internet. We've been kind of putting our lives out there. I mean, probably every piece of information you want on any person is Googleable. And so that's something that we have to kind of retroactively, as an industry, go back and fix. And that's why it's a foundation. So I would say everyone is at different parts of the journey. I think pockets of Latin America have realized that technology adoption increases jobs, increases revenue. I actually did a study maybe 4 years ago on the economic impact of technology on small and medium businesses, which are 99% of employers in Latin America. And what we found was that small and medium businesses who adopted technology like the cloud actually grew their revenue by 16 additional percentage points and grew jobs by 10 additional percentage points. So it's great to do, and I think something that we want to continue to encourage policy to make it easier for businesses to adopt technology because it does result in that.
Gina, so just one first concern. So I was a couple of weeks ago at Personal Connections, and I'm really curious to understand what is the portfolio strategy of Cisco that related to the acquisition of Prosa.
Yes.
It looks like the portfolio kind of overlaps in this one, like collaboration tools, in one versus part. So I'm really curious to understand what is your strategy that relates to this acquisition.
We're very excited about BroadSoft. It's not done yet. There's some regulation and regulatory reviews that need to go through, but the strategy behind that is that our technology is typically for large enterprise. That's what we focused on. That's what our product development and data has been focused on. With BroadSoft, it actually helps us in 2 ways. One is the large focus on small and medium enterprise, which is something that we just haven't done in the past. And then the second is actually it's a cloud-delivered solution. So it's already in the business model that we have been evolving to. So that's the primary rationale behind why we're so enthusiastic about broad-solve. Yes?
I was looking at, Juan Gonzalez, Model Enforcement Sullivan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I was looking yesterday at the slide of the digital business hierarchy.
Yes.
You know, and then I was taking a look and recapping on your architectures. And it kind of overlaps, you know, the architecture from Cisco and the priorities of the digital hierarchy. But then when you take a look to the priorities, I mean, for the first time, security is the base instead of the network. And it seems like a changing on the way Cisco has been speaking about how the network was the base for everything and digitalization and so on. Is this a new way of Cisco to grasp the security as a first priority for any company?
So what we found was actually the network was a key control point in securing our customers' IT environments. And then what we also found is that if you don't deal with security, all of your digitization efforts are for nothing. Because the minute there's a security breach, there's compromised revenue, business, your ability to do business. I covered a couple of examples, like when the National Health Service was hacked with a WannaCry vulnerability, and 8,000 patients couldn't be served, and they actually turned them away and cancel surgeries. Or when a large retailer we mentioned was hacked through their HVAC system, and customer credit card information was removed. The impact on your ability to do business is so severe that if you don't pay attention and have security as front and center, all of your other digitization efforts will fall by the wayside. And we already know that over 70% of executives are slowing down digitization efforts because of security concerns. So that's why it has to be dealt with first, because it is stopping the ability to do other things. But that said, the network is a key enabler of an effective security posture. That encrypted traffic analytics innovation that I shared yesterday could not be done without network technology. We are looking at raw network traffic there. We are looking at 150 data elements in real time, raw network traffic. And then we've done a bunch of statistical analysis to see which ones correlate to malware packet low body language. And then we can determine if there's malware even in encrypted traffic without decrypting it. And all of that is with the network. That said, one of the reasons it's also at the foundation is we have embedded security, enterprise-grade security in every go-forward layer. So we've got security as a standalone business, but it's also in the network, it's also in our cloud solutions, it's also in our analytics solutions, it's also in our collaboration and teaming solutions. So it's not only by itself, but it's the one unique thread throughout the entire hierarchy.
Okay, and sorry, but follow up.
Yes.
Do you think that the market is perceiving Cisco as a leader in the security area as well as in the networking or collaboration area?
So we are the #1 enterprise security company by revenue. It's a very fragmented market, but we are #1. And actually recently NSS Labs, which is a third party that does some of the most rigorous security effectiveness tests out there, did a test on our next-gen firewall, and we actually were blocked 100% or had 100% evasions of the security tests that they did in their research test. And we have been a top performer in their tests for the last 4 years running. So both in terms of market share and in terms of objective performance, we view ourselves as a leader. Also, I shared a statistic yesterday that the average industry time to discover a threat in your network is 100 days. And because of our integrated architecture, we have reduced that down to 3 hours. So in our view, the metrics show that we are a leader. I think that we are not only a security company, so that probably will take some time because typically in security it's been, very point product-based market. But we believe in an integrated architecture, not just a point product-based solution. And I think over time, the data shows that that is more effective. Yes.
Fernando Reyes from Channel 20. You mentioned several times AI and analytics.
Yes.
Do you plan to, are you working with other companies in artificial intelligence and analytics in the market, or are you developing your own products in this area? And it's hard to build this platform from scratch. So what's your plans in this?
Yeah, no, great question. So partnership is definitely a key pillar of our strategy. I will say as it relates to machine learning algorithms, we have not developed our own algorithm. We are using algorithms from IBM Watson. We are using TensorFlow with Google. We're partnering with Microsoft and others. And then we're applying those algorithms to our use cases. We've actually got massive amounts of data. We're one of the greatest test beds for machine learning and AI. And so we are partnering. Our partnership with Google is also inclusive of a machine learning piece, especially as it relates to IoT. We announced a partnership with Microsoft as it relates to IoT and machine learning. So using their machine learning models, we can actually run those on the edge. So if you've got any kind of edge use case, which there are many, let's say you want to optimize manufacturing in a facility, but you're not going to ship all of that data to the cloud. It just doesn't make sense. But you can get a model out of the cloud, run that model locally, and then you're running it at the edge in that pervasive compute that we're now putting in every piece of hardware that we ship. So we're partnering. This is definitely a partner strategy. And I would say, like, AI and machine learning is a capability, so it's kind of like having a sort of data scientist group in your organization. We're embedding it in everything that we do. We have AI experts in every part of our business today. They work with each other and they work individually within their business units. And we're partnering more broadly for IoT in particular.
Okay. And as a software company, Cisco, do you think these large markets that you could compete as Cisco itself as your own product?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that if you look at app dynamics and tetration, both the cloud application dependency mapping, policy deployment, and the business process solutions, I mean, those are extremely competitive on the analytics side, and they're both utilizing machine learning to continuously optimize. So we view ourselves as very competitive there.
Hi, I'm Pablo from Buenos Aires. I wish to know about which kind of business the partners can do, and they have more high margins. Are all of them around software?
Sorry, what was the first
Which kind of business the partners can do with Cisco with the margins are better? Are just the software areas, or are there other areas? And if the company, your strategy is to move to software to have more higher margins?
Yes. No, good question. So we actually have data on this. We surveyed our partners globally, and what we found is that the top performing partners, and by top performing we mean greatest revenue growth and greatest share of wallet with their customers, and also margin, are the ones who have augmented the existing business with cloud advisory practices, security advisory practices, and software and recurring revenue practices. Just selling a box is no longer sufficient. That's high margin, but if you want to grow your revenue and have a sustainable business, adding those additional practices, we've seen a significant improvement and a significant difference between the top performing partners and those who are average. So cloud advisory, security, and software enablement and recurring revenue practices have been pretty key differentiators of the top performing partners. They've been growing the fastest. They've been getting the greatest share of wallet from their customers, and so we're encouraging them to do that. We launched our multi-cloud offers last week at Partner Summit, so our global Partner Summit took place last week, and we shared with our partners all of the enablement content to help them guide customers on the cloud journey, and that's one of the key differentiators of those who are top performing and those who are average. You first, I think.
Okay. Well, what are the main challenges in Latin American market? How do we say all of this? And what are the main challenges with the ecosystem, with your partners ecosystem?
I will probably get the majority of the answer I could say something quite general about global, but I think Jordan can answer the part.
We were sharing about how we made progress regarding digitization in the last 5 years. And one of the challenges that we were discussing is that this geography needs much further infrastructure investment. For example, today there is still existing infrastructure that most of the telco operators they use the same one, and we need to foster much more investment there. And that was one of the points. The second point is that they have a massive youth, young people, in Brazil, in comparison to Europe, but we need to accelerate their education. That we have done a lot together as an ecosystem. We were sharing that about the 1.6 million people that were educated and graduated from the Network Academy program, they fed our network ecosystem.
One statistic on that note is today we have globally 1.06 million students in that academy. 450,000 of them are in Latin America. So it is an increasing number of the population that we're training.
Correct. And that's what we need. As long as we develop those people, that they will be part of the innovation process that this economy needs. The other challenge is to accelerate from commodity-based economy to knowledge-based economy. And I was sharing with them, you need the right partners to do that, the country itself. And the other subject is, it was a very unstable politically speaking here, but fortunately we see in most of the countries, with the exception of the countries that you know guys, okay, the rest of them moving into a better direction and having more political stability. Good. Now, we were also sharing, which is also a serious question, is that emerging areas that we think Latin America will play a key role. We were talking about security, we were talking about IoT, 50 billion connected devices. There is a massive industry about applications, software in the analytics space. This is some emerging industries around the world, and the youth and the asset that they have to take advantage of it.
Thank you, Jordan.
Actually, Mexico and the United States are in the negotiation of the NAFTA. And I want to know if Cisco advise any challenge or opportunity in this change, because the technology issue wasn't considered in this bilateral trade.
So we don't comment on the political situation, but I will say we ourselves are very committed to the positions that we have in our Latin American partners. So we'll continue that. But in terms of any discussions kind of more broadly around the political
But do you think that technology topics are important in this kind of bilateral and global relations?
Well, one thing I will say, generally, in terms of policies and the things that need to be added to any government agenda, we think that networks should be considered critical infrastructure, just like roads, just like access to other utilities. It should be considered critical infrastructure because it is now the lifeblood. I mean, if your cell service goes down, doesn't that feel like it's a pretty big part of your ability to go on day to day when that goes away? And so given the impact that the network has in times of crisis, the ability to communicate with people, the ability to find and coordinate aid is so critical that that's something that I think we need actually all governments to recognize. It's just as important as other critical infrastructure. So that's a big general public policy push that we are making across the globe. We've seen it just in the last few months in all of the natural disasters. Bringing the network back up was one of the top priorities. Guillermo Diaz, our CIO, actually met with the CIO of Puerto Rico a couple of weeks ago, and he came to him and said, "Thank you so much, Cisco. Bringing that network back up for us was so key because the roads were down. I mean, there's so many challenges, and having people be able to communicate is critical during those times." We still have a long way to go in terms of countries investing in their networks as much as it should be to improve the quality of life for their citizens. But that's something that we firmly believe is needed to continue to improve the quality of life of the global population.
You asked me the same question, And as she said, right, that we don't make any political comments. But as I said before, we are very committed to becoming disruptive to Mexico. For example, we keep developing a program, the country digital acceleration in the education areas, healthcare, public safety, and the industry. We will continue having that commitment to the country.
Good morning. Jaime Núñez from Mexico City. Do you have an opinion for the fake news, the false news? The technology can fight for this in social media and in the media in general?
So great question. And yes, technology has a pretty big role to play here. Fake news is not a new problem. It's something that has always been around. It's just now when anyone can create content. It's amazing when you see the news about the Russian involvement and the fake ads that they bought on Facebook, and the number of people that those ads touched. It was something like they spent less than $200,000, but they made impressions on 100 of their Americans prior to the U.S. election. So it's staggering how technology can take, few resources and have an impact in something large. That's actually a great thing about technology. The bad thing is that sometimes it's propagating false information. One thing that we're proud of, and I mentioned this yesterday, is Talos. Actually, I don't think I mentioned it yesterday. Cisco's Talos group, our threat intelligence group, actually won the fake news challenge. So their algorithm that they're learning, it actually won the best ability to detect fake news in the world today. So we're very proud of that because it's Cisco, and not only are we using our technology and our capabilities to protect our customers, but we can actually apply that same methodology more broadly to be able to detect things like misinformation that's out there in social media and the news. So it's pretty cool. The challenge, I believe, was completed in July, and Cisco was announced as the winner. Cisco Talos. So I'd encourage you all to look that up if you haven't. It's a very cool story of going beyond our usual business operations.
Thank you.
Well, one more.
Yes?
Going back to AI.
Sure.
And going back to my first question, how do you organize the R&D around AI? Each individual team, collaborations, they could have their own R&D on this, you have a centralized team and working on different projects.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So it's not centralized R&D because it's a core competency that everyone should have. It's kind of like saying, hey, you have a math department. I mean, it's some capability that every business has to have. But we do recognize that there's so much benefit in knowledge sharing. So each business has AI and ML experts, but we also have a community that is loosely coupled. Actually, my team manages that community of all of the experts in the company. They come together on a regular basis to share information, share what they're working on, and actually cross-pollinate to augment the capabilities of each other. One of the things that is the dirty secret of AI and ML is that 80% of the effort goes into cleaning up data. Because there's so much data out there, gathering it and cleaning it up. And so that's actually a significant benefit of having them share with each other and that loose coupling, so that they don't have to really clean up the data, and then they can add value on top of it within their business.
Once they find fake news, what's the next step?
Sorry?
What is the next step they do? The analytics group and AI?
Well, we're not in the news business, I think it was great for us that we won that capability, but we haven't, I don't think we've taken it further than just showing that we have the capability. I think it would be up to the news outlets and others to adopt that technology to improve the value they're bringing to their citizens. I don't always know if those things are aligned with each other. If the right thing is aligned with the media's objectives sometimes. Yes.
Talk about how Cisco is helping its partners in selling services, value-added services. So It seems that Cisco is in the same transition from selling just boxes to selling services and software. So what has been the performance of Cisco in this area, and how will it change the market in the future?
So for us, one of the things that maybe I'll tackle the first part of your question. We are evolving our business model, not because, hey, we want recurring revenue, which would be nice. It's because we want an ability to deliver innovation as it's available to our customers. So the way we used to deliver innovation was, here's a new box, or here's a box. We'll come back a few years later, here's a new box and it's got 100 new features. A few years later, here's a new box and it's got 100 new features. What if, we asked ourselves, what if we could give our customers the innovation as soon as it's available? How do we do that? And the way to do that is what we had to do over the last 2 to 3 years, which is rewrite the network operating system, make it open, programmable, and API-based. So now we can deliver innovation through software, through the cloud. We added compute capacity so that it can receive that innovation. So we basically future-proofed our boxes so that now we can deliver innovation through software over time. Now, the first part of your question on how we're helping partners is, this is actually a platform for partners to innovate on. We have partners globally who are writing applications to that network operating system, creating customized use cases that are specific to Latin American customers, specific to certain industry verticals, oil and gas, manufacturing, others, and they're able to monetize those. It's a new revenue stream for them. So they're not just selling a box, they actually now can innovate, not just sell someone else's innovation. They themselves can now innovate and have a source of additional revenue. It's really exciting for us that we've been able to not only change our business model to get our innovation to our customers faster, but we can enable our partners to have new revenue streams and become more relevant in the future. And that's what's really important, because we will never understand every single customer use case. We build a lot of horizontal technologies. Our partners are really the ones who understand the verticals. And so by giving them that ability to innovate in a customized way, it's beneficial to them, beneficial to Cisco, and most importantly, beneficial to the customers at the end of the day to get innovation that's specific to their business. So that for us is very, very empowering. We've done it in the network. Spark platform is also another area where customers, partners are building specific use cases for certain verticals. And we have dozens of examples of that since we launched Spark, where partners are creating use cases like that, and several in Latin America as well. So it's very exciting that we're transitioning our business model, innovating in a different way, but empowering our partners to deliver new innovation and create new revenue streams for them. It's a great competitive advantage. Well,
one more question and we need to wrap up.
So that change in Cisco's business model is also, which you just mentioned, is also making a change in the business of wholesalers, for example. How is Cisco helping them to adapt or make whatever changes they need in order to make a profitable business, like they were probably doing 7 or more years ago?
sorry, it's a difference in, what was the first part of what you said?
You were mentioning how Cisco has been changing its business model to accelerate the delivery of innovation to customers. But that change is also forcing wholesalers, for example, to change their business model.
Yes.
How is Cisco helping
make
whatever changes they need to?
Great question. So it is a change management process that we have to go through with a lot of our partners. So if you imagine our partners kind of on a bell curve, those that have already transitioned, actually we're leading Cisco. We're learning from them on where we need to go. And then there are many who are still using the models that we've had for, it's been very successful for the last 20 years. They have to evolve just like we have to evolve to be competitive, because those in the leading piece are going to continue to win. So those who don't evolve will actually, it'll be required for them to evolve in order to maintain their businesses. So what we're doing to enable them, one is obviously the technology. They have to have the technology. Two is the training on the technology and the enablement. So we continuously launch enablement programs. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for them to get trained on that content. At Partner Summit, we launched lots of tracks in those focus areas of cloud, security, and business value is really important. So enabling the IT professional to articulate the business impact of adopting technology. And so all of those new practices, we're enabling our partners to be able to deliver those better. And we're actually providing a lot of existing use cases for them and training. So we've always had Cisco certifications, but actually developer network is going to be the area that we're going to continue to grow. Right now we have 4,000 customers and partners on our developer network. If you go to that, cisco.devnet.com or maybe it's devnet.cisco.com. But if you go there, we've got open APIs. We've got all of these different use cases for certain verticals, for certain segments that they can actually adopt and change and customize for their business or for their customers, and then potentially monetize those. So there's actually a great starter kit for every partner to work off of and adopt that change, but they just have to invest in time.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you all. Appreciate you. Hope you have enjoy the rest of the week.